There was once a miraculous spider who tricked the god of creation into giving him all of the world's stories to use for his own amusement. A devious thing to do, indeed. The word spread like wildfire, and soon the mortal world and the other world began to fuse together. Not a problem, the spider thought, because with chaos comes entertainment. You falling into my web is a gift, mortal, for now I get the chance to fuse our worlds once again for a new era. Obscure, mystifying, horrific, obscene. Welcome to the Spinster's Festering Tales. Glad to see you've made it, mortal. I'm in high spirits, seeing that you have answered my call from below. Welcome to my home, the Otherworld Archives. Please, have a seat. I wouldn't wish for your time here to be more uncomfortable than I plan on making it. You are in a special place, trapped between the mortal plane and the other world. It is here, in this building, where the thread between dimensions is strongest. It's a hard place to get to. You must be special. Do you see all of these books? These stories are all of the same vein. They all speak of the various links between worlds, whether mysterious objects, spirits, or monsters, such as myself. I am the Spinster, the collector, the distributor, the keeper of tales. And oh, mortal, do I have an interesting story for you today. Of course, listening to these stories comes with a price. So, before I begin, you would do well to listen to my warning. Do you know the riddle? If a tree falls in the middle of the woods, and there is no one to hear it, does it make a sound? The riddle is calling into question if does sound truly exist if there is no one around to hear it. There is another saying that boasts the same concept. Seeing is believing, as well as out of sight, out of mind. The stories I am about to tell you will become your link to the other world. In the era of science, if the wonders of the other world cease to exist in the minds of humans, both worlds will inevitably perish. Ah, but that is a story for another time, So, do you wish to hear what I have to say? This is your only chance to turn back. All right, then. I'm glad to see that we will be embarking on this journey together. Since you and I have just met, then, how about I tell you a tale about yet another extraordinary meeting? Always best to start off easy. It wouldn't do well if you didn't come back. Here we are. A modern story about a beautiful individual who meets a monster.
Tick tock, baby's on the clock. The sun has gone away, it's the end of the day. Tick tock, baby's on the clock. No longer time for play, so rest your head and lay. Tick tock. I paused from my singing. There was no mistaking the feeling I had, the dread that crept up into the nape of my neck, because I could feel someone standing behind me, just outside the door of the butter-yellow nursery. The house was completely silent, as it should be, which only made the situation more horrifying. I was too terrified to glance up from where I was staring down at the wiggling Benjamin, the baby's brown eyes wide. In front of me was a window, and, with it being pitch black outside, I would be able to see the reflection. Somehow, I knew it wasn't human. The thing behind me didn't move. Neither did I. I knew I couldn't remain in a deadlock with it forever, hunched over and paranoid of what was going to happen next. Was it a ghost? A demon? I knew that merely looking up would tell me the answer. I didn't want to know. My hands, which were tenderly holding Benjamin's, were cold. The small baby wiggled. Where before my lullaby was putting him to sleep, he was now awake. He knew there was something wrong. I pulled my hand away, tucking my shoulder-length brown hair behind my ear before standing upright. My eyes snapped to the window, where I saw the white outline of the door, and no one standing in it. My heart was rattling in my chest. No, someone had been standing there. I was certain. Someone. I turned around to get a better look, only for a brown face and vivid blue eyes to be plastered right in front of me, a breath away, with a manic white grin. I screeched, stumbling back, crashing into Benjamin's crib, my arms worthless as I merely shrieked at the sight of a stranger who didn't move from their spot. It was a man. No, it was a woman. No, I wasn't sure what it was, but they stood only a few inches taller than me, still smiling, with an all-white linen suit, a solid gold cane, white dress shoes, and a gold upside-down crucifix pinned to their lapel. The being's hair was an occult black, slightly windswept around the ears and over the forehead, and electric blue eyes that caught every fleck of light, sparking like a neon sign in Vegas. Their looks were impeccable, but the expression was unnerving. I swore their entire face twitched every time I blinked my eyes.
Hello, Amelia.
The thing spoke.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Its voice forced dread into my heart. I didn't respond. It knew my name. How did it know my name? Its eyes hadn't wavered, still locked directly onto mine, smile wide. It felt inhumanly big. They looked almost too perfect, with the perfectly pressed clothes, shiny white teeth, and that was what made it frightening. There wasn't a single flaw to them, not a black hair out of place, nor a blemish on their brown skin, or a wrinkle in their clothing. They spoke again.
I wanted to come for dinner, but I arrived too late.
They didn't move from their spot, and it was for the best. I would have started screaming again.
You've never cooked before. You've always wanted to, so I wanted to try it myself.
Who the hell are you? I asked. And the dinner this being spoke of was now curdling in my stomach due to fear. My eyes were straining to stay locked onto the creature who was bathing in the dim yellow light of the nursery. Their smile never left.
I'm the devil.
Benjamin giggled in his crib behind me. The world felt slanted. Devil. I could see it in their blue eyes. Male, female, whatever they were. I noticed suddenly their hands at their side, one of them clutching the cane. Their fingertips were black, like they had been dipped in ink. They had long nails. Their fingers flexed, and my gaze immediately returned to their bright eyes and grin that split across their face. Still handsome, still horrifying. It was twisted, abnormal. I still loved it. You're the devil? I let out.
No, I'm the devil. You're Amelia.
Was the dreadfully playful response. I swallowed thickly.
I'm disappointed. I missed out on dinner with a beautiful woman. But you can make it up to me, right?
I felt my bones shivering, shaking as if attempting to break out of my body, scratching just under the surface of my skin. My stomach felt queasy. I thought I was going to vomit. I started to sweat, feeling it bead at my forehead. Make it up to them? Dinner? Are you going to kill me? I finally managed to let out. No matter how my voice sounded, it was unable to fully hold the amount of utter terror I was feeling in that moment. I didn't feel like I was inside of Benjamin's nursery, more like I was in some alternate dimension where everything looked the same, only that everything was completely wrong. But I knew that nothing was wrong. The house was the same house I walked into that evening. The bathroom was the same bathroom with its deep, fancy tub. The kitchen the same with its nice cutlery and stainless steel appliances. Benjamin's nursery was the same, with his rubber ducky yellow walls and white trim. Nothing had changed, save for the fact that now the devil stood in the middle of it. I expected the devil to look more terrifying. Even so, they felt the same. Terrifying. The same as when you lay in bed at night and look to the door and fright as if something would be standing there, but nothing was there. That same feeling when you swore you saw a shadow or something move in the corner of your eye, and when you looked away, you saw it again and again. paranoia welling up like mucus in your lungs. Was I going to die? The devil had appeared. Did that mean I was going to die?
I don't kill people,
Was the devil's simple answer with a smile, and their hands moved, fiddling idly with their lapel.
Dessert?
Pardon? I breathed out softly. My chest felt heavy.
I said I don't kill people. Dessert?
Dessert. I stood in silence, but Benjamin was insisting on making noise. I didn't try and stop him. The devil waited for me to respond. When I didn't say anything, they kept talking.
I noticed you haven't cleaned up after dinner. Should I watch after Benjamin while you do that? It will be hard to make dessert with a messy kitchen.
The devil stepped forward. The motion was jerky like a glitch on a computer. I gasped loudly, stepping hurriedly away from Benjamin's crib and the devil, leaving him vulnerable to a demon. The devil stared down into the white crib before their head lifted to gaze at the mobile that spun over Benjamin's head. A single long, black finger moved out, a nail scratching against one of the hanging, fluffy toys. The mobile spun lazily, the mechanical music box song that accompanied it lulling in the air around us, drifting to the ceiling. Benjamin seemed pleased. The devil made a strange cooing noise.
Hello. Hello, hello, Benjamin.
The devil greeted him the same way as he had me.
Almost time to sleep. What a good boy.
Seeing Satan talk to Benjamin like that, it reminded me of... I try not to think about it. I shuddered. I watched as the devil bent down, picking Benjamin up into their strange hands. They gave him a bounce. Benjamin giggled, and with a snap of their neck, the devil was looking at me with their white grin suddenly, eyes off the baby.
Go clean. Go clean, Amelia.
I obeyed instantly, too terrified to do otherwise. I hurried to the kitchen with a hammering heart, eager to fill my nostrils with the scent of cleaner. Anything to take my mind off the fact that I was being watched. The devil was watching me. I spent too long searching for cleaning supplies, thinking they would be under the sink in the kitchen. But eventually I located everything I needed, turning on the kitchen sink to as hot as the water could go, enough where it could scald. The sound of running water echoed in the kitchen. I pulled on the pink kitchen gloves I had bought from the dollar store, snagging a sponge. As I cleaned feverishly, I heard the devil in the room with Benjamin.
Tick-tock. Amelia's on the clock. The sun has gone away. It's the end of the day.
The devil had changed the song I had been singing. I swallowed thickly. My fingers were growing raw from how furiously I was scrubbing, even though I didn't need to use so much force. It was out of fear. Fear, goddammit. It wasn't supposed to be this way. I had everything all planned out for the night. Dinner, dessert, bed, the weekend off to finish cleaning the house. But nothing ever went my way, did it? I never got anything to myself. I just wanted to do something for myself. I was screaming, suddenly. I tore out of the kitchen, running back to the nursery. The devil was holding Benjamin. I tore off my blood-stained pink gloves, tossing him into the crib. I snatched Benjamin out of Satan's grasp, holding the baby to me with a wide-eyed gaze. The devil was still smiling. The expression had never left their face. They were just so happy. So happy. "Why are you smiling like that?" I finally screeched at them, and Benjamin was crying, finally onto the fact that something was horribly, horribly wrong. Stupid baby! Of course things are wrong. Everything had been wrong since the very beginning. Everything had been wrong since the moment I walked into this godforsaken house. Why the hell are you smiling? Only Benjamin crying rang between us. The devil, who stood poised and all white with their bright smile that cut across the soft brown face, didn't move an inch.
I'm just excited, Amelia. Excited for dessert.
And Satan's eyes moved away from me and out of the doorway into the kitchen, where parts of my older sister's body were still splayed out on the tile floor, oozing with red blood. The air still smelled like cooking meat.
I suppose you could finish cleaning later. You're still hungry, aren't you?
Benjamin suddenly felt heavy in my arms. I looked to my sister's child. His face was distressed. I slowly bounced him in an attempt to calm him down, turning away and going into the kitchen. I could feel the devil following me, even though there were no footsteps. Tick tock, baby's on the clock. The sun has gone away. It's the end of the day. Tick tock, baby's on the clock. No longer time for play. So rest your head and lay. Benjamin had fallen asleep. I was standing in a pool of his mother's blood. The devil looked at the doorway of the kitchen, their linen-clad outline particularly bright against the fluorescent lighting. I set Benjamin down onto the clean, dry countertop on his stomach. I pet his hair a bit, letting my fingers run through the soft locks. I pulled my hand away to rest it on his back, holding him down steady to the counter. I looked towards the devil. I gave a soft smile, even though my heart felt as though it was withering, filled with defeat. "Dessert?" I asked them, and held up a knife. The devil just smiled.
Yes, please, Miss Amelia.
You have to wonder who was the real monster. The devil or Amelia? Well, I do look forward to the chance of ever meeting her. The small amount of mortal flukes like her make Amelia quite the anomaly. And what about yourself? Who would you rather meet? Amelia or the devil? Well, I've never met Amelia, but I have met Satan. A rather charming individual when they're not mad at you, or so I have heard. But luckily, it apparently takes quite a lot for them to get angry at you. In fact, I've heard in order to do so, you have to be able to piss them off at a divine level. Though, you still being human, I wouldn't think you'd want to get to know Amelia. What if you end up like her poor nephew? Unless, of course, you're into that sort of thing. Well, it seems as though our time together must come to a close for tonight. I made sure to not feed you anything that could give you nightmares. Cannibalism shouldn't be frightening. Besides, you never know. If you ever get stuck in the other world while visiting, you'll need to know how to whip yourself up a decent meal. Don't trip on my webbing on the way out, listener. After all, I expect you back next time. Until then.